we are in the month of Pisces, right? And today, the 18th of February, the sun is entering into the sign of Pisces. We know that in the new moon that we had 6 planets in Aquarius, and we're going to see slowly how this Aquarius is not disappearing completely, because we still have Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius, but all the personal planets started with the sun today, sun in Pisces. Next Thursday, also Venus is going to go into Pisces, and Mercury, which is about to, on Saturday, will stationary direct, and then on Monday will go direct in the sign of Aquarius, is only going to go into Pisces on March 16th. But is stopped, is a retrograde motion, and is going to get out of the shadow completely on March 13. Now, what all does it mean? Of course, we're going to talk about, but we see that we are slowly letting go of the Aquarius and going into the Pisces area. You know, every month we have a bunch of planet or a bunch of energy in a certain sign, because everything in life is because the signs, the signs are building one on top of another for a reason, because we're going to evolutionary. Every year we're going to a certain evolution that is allowing us to, basically, according to Kabbalah, to finish Tikkun in 1 year. We can say we can really finish, because we have all the right opening in the universe to do every month what we need to do. So when we come to the month of Pisces is the closest as possible to the Creator. Now, what does it mean that all Pisces are righteous? Probably not. Because when we're talking about the energy of Pisces, we are not talking specifically about people. We are talking about energy of Pisces. And energy of Pisces is the closest as possible to Creator. It has, what does it mean close? Because in order for us to be close to the Creator, we need to have we need to have an affinity, right? Because that's how we cleave to the Creator. Our job in this world to cleave to Creator. And the signs and the time in the year that we can do it the most is in the time of Pisces. Now it says, in the Torah, not in the Torah, in the writings, משנכנס אדר מרבין בשמחה, when Adar is coming, we need to, it's kind of almost like that's what you need to do in Adar, to be happy. And if we know really Pisces people, they're not the most happiest people in the world. Excuse me, Pisces. Again, I'm going to remind it over and over again. When we're talking about Pisces, you maybe have a moon here or a Mars there or a Venus there. So we're all different. But as essence Pisces, it's very hard for Pisces to be happy. And the reason that it's hard for Pisces to be happy, because they are very close by nature to Creator. They're expecting, they have that expectation that everyone should be in unity and everyone should be a good person and we all need to be there for each other. And when they see a lot of chaos in the world, it's very hard for them to accept it. Therefore, they become judgmental towards humanity and judgmental towards, processes that we are going through. And their natural desire is to escape from here. If you really speak with Pisces, it's either their escape, to be very spiritual and don't want to do anything in this world. And some of them will go to different addictions, serious addiction, because it's very hard to deal with reality. Therefore, in one hand, Pisces, in the month of Pisces, all of us, we want to be happy, because when we understand creation and when we understand Creator, we are the closest right now. But to be the closest, we also need to understand that we need to do it here on the physical world. And we can see in the portion of Terumah, we can see how we are doing it, because it's really, really very difficult. Because we want to be one and we want to cleave to Creator, and there are so many people who are not doing it, and people are disappointing us, and the world is not perfect. So and the beauty of it is that we really want to be happy, because we know that everything has a reason. All right, and this is the Amalek, and this is the doubt, and this is the power of Purim, and this is the power of Terumah. the portion of Terumah. And Terumah mean contribution, but it's also mean elevation. And let's see what is that elevation and what is that contribution that we need to make in order to live to Creator. So first of all, when we really think about it, the Creator wants us, by the way, the whole portion from beginning to end is giving us specific details how to build the tabernacle. Like in details, length, color, what material, like everything to the details, how to build that tabernacle. Because I think we spoke about it last week, the universe has rules, and this is the rules that we receive from creators. The rules, if we're looking at it as in a religious way, we become limited. Oh, I cannot do this because of that, and I cannot do that. I cannot drive, on Saturday, and I cannot eat meat and dairy, and I cannot do this, and I'm 613, do and don'ts. And it sounds very limited, And by the way, the Rav is saying, right, in this portion of Terumah, there's 96 verses, which 96 is numerology of tzav, is command. And if we don't understand what does it mean that those commandment, then we really work idol worship. Because all this clarity, not to bring any doubts, to do exactly how to do things, to connect, because it's only about opening doors. All this commandment is opening doors to another world that is beyond, time, space, and motion. Okay? Here I'm going off track again. So, right, we were in Terumah. And he's talking about, the tabernacle in very, very specific details. But the questions that we want to ask ourselves. The Creator wants to dwell here in this world, within each and every one of us. And because we spoke about it in length, I did, and I'm sure many other teachers spoke about it in other classes, that the Creator, he says, "Ve'asu li mikdash v'shachanti betocham," and you should build for me the temple, and basically it needs to say, and I will dwell there, and it says, and the Torah says, and I will dwell within them. So it doesn't make any sense, because if you build something, build me a tabernacle and I will dwell there. But it says, no, build me a tabernacle and I will dwell within themselves, inside of themselves. So if the Creator, let's think about it, the Creator is unlimited, beyond time, space, and motion, something that we already talked about, that we cannot in any way understand what does it mean, okay, because we're in a limited body. So how that something that is unlimited would like to dwell, would like to live, or would like to be in a place that is very, very limited. How the unlimited can dwell within the limitation. During the reality of everyday life, we are dealing with the material world. And the material world is here and now. Most of the time we live in the here and now. I'm hungry, I'm eating, I'm thirsty, I'm drinking, I'm feeling sad, I'm talking to a friend, I'm always filling up lacks. We live very much in the material world. And when we live in the material world, we live in the limitation. That's why we have, the body and the soul. The body, everything that has to do with the body is very limited. But we need to remember very fundamental rule, that the man, the human being, is not the body, is the soul within the body. And if a person is running his life according to the soul, he creates some sort of completion of holiness. Kedusha means holiness. Mikdash means temple. It's the same thing. We build that temple if we live our life according to our soul desire, according to the part of the Creator that is within us. When we are talking about mitzvah means a commandment or something that we need to do. It means from the word tzavta. Tzavta is together. Together, it means the spiritual and the physical together. we need to use the material. We need to use the physical world that we are living, but we need to treat the physicality with the consciousness of the upper world, of the spiritual. That's why it says elevation. Everything that we do, in order for the Creator that is unlimited to dwell within our limited, body, everything that we do needs to be with consciousness of the spiritual world. So even if we deal with the most mundane thing, physical thing, the consciousness that we are having will determine, what will be the result of everything that happened to us in life. The Creator is bringing a list of everything that needs to use for building of the tabernacle. And if you really look at that list, it's the best of the best. And I'm thinking, well, the Creator really that is so unlimited and he doesn't care about the material, why the tabernacle has to be built from gold and silver and the best fabric and the best ladders and the best oils? Everything is from the best of the best. If you're really looking at that list and you're reading this portion, and what's the story of the Creator, to build a tabernacle from the best of material world. Okay, it says, it needs to be gold inside and out. Right? It's gold and silver and copper and blue and purple and red, all these beautiful fabrics and ladders. I hope I say it right, leather. Yeah. And great oils. And if you really look at the Midrash, so before the Midrash, all this best material is because in this world we can have all the best of material. But in order for us to connect to this material, okay, we want to elevate our consciousness to a place that we want to influence, that we want to add value to the world. And then there is really no problem to have everything physical in the world. The only thing is that we want it here and now for the desire for the self alone. And if we're looking at, there is a list from the Midrash, I'm going to give you a few examples about the gold. Okay, so the gold inside and out, the gold is really talking about the soul. And the silver is talking about the body. The copper is talking about is the voice. The blue is the vein, and the purple is the flesh, and the red is the blood, and the goat hair is the hair, and the ram skin dyed red is the skin of the face. The smithed wood is the bones, and the oil and lighting is the eyes. The spices, is the nose, the mouth, and the what? The nose and the mouth. So you see that even if we're talking about physicality, everything has a parallel universe on the spiritual world. And if we are able, to bring our consciousness, or to be constantly in that consciousness of adding a value, making a difference, there is no reason why we cannot really connect to the things that we want to connect in life. Most of the time we are coming out of lack, and most of the time we want things because we don't have it, okay, and we feel that we cannot be happy without it. Aquarius, they can see things to the simplest, okay, they can be they're not making like the Leo, the opposite. They're not making drama. They're very simple. They can see things very, very clear. Okay, so when that Mercury in retrograde, we have the opportunity to see very clearly, where are we? Where is our consciousness? Where is our heart? Where are we standing? According to where we want to be. So we can use that energy of Mercury in Aquarius still in retrograde. And remember, even if it's going stationary on Saturday and then direct on Monday, we have all the way until March 13th that he's going back to his full force, because still around that time is in the shadow. It's called in astrology the shadow, and the shadow is the time that is retrograde period. So in order for him to go back to a place that he started the retrograde period, it's called the shadow, and it's going to be until March 13. So when we have that Mercury there during that month, and with the Sun and soon Venus in Pisces, we can see very clearly where are we standing in our consciousness, and be really true to ourselves. Where are we standing? Why things in life that are not opening for us is because we are not yet do everything that we need, like the Tabernacle, into details. It's very accurate. If you want to listen to a radio channel, you need to go accurate into the vibration or where the channel is really playing. What's the tether? If it's 107, then it needs to be 100.7. It cannot be 100.8, and it's really need to be accurate. So we need to know exactly. It's very important for us to know where are we exactly, in the consciousness level. Because if there's still people, that is not that disappointing us, and people that are not the people that we are drawing into our life are not the people that we want to be around, or situation that we don't want to have in life, it's because we are connecting to that tether. So Pisces, okay, if they become the victim of the world, the most victim, escaping from reality, just because they are not tuned exactly to where they need to be. So when we have that combination of Aquarius and Pisces, let's know exactly where we are. Okay? And in Pisces, we can connect by listening to our intuition. Okay? When we are connecting to our intuition, now how do we know if it's intuition or fears? Because usually when we are afraid of something, we're going to say, I feel it's not good for me. If I want to go to an interview and I'm terrified from that interview, I'm like, I have a feeling it's not going to go well. I have a feeling it's not going to go, because I'm afraid to go there. If I'm going to meet a new person, if I'm going to do something new in my life, and I'm afraid to do it, it's not going to be intuition that drives us. It's going to be fears. So when we're talking about true intuition, we're going to talk about a feeling, a strong feeling that we have, that fear has nothing to do with it. The moment fear is joining the party, we know that it's not intuition anymore. It needs to be clear. It needs to be centered. That we feel something and there's no feeling attached to it. And Pisces has that energy because it's one with Creator. We can cleave to Creator. In order for us to cleave to Creator, we need to have affinity. And affinity is the sharing. Very important in this month is to be a being of sharing. This is how we have affinity with Creator. We cannot have the desire for the self alone and be connected to Creator. That's why we need to build that tabernacle, that the unlimited will dwell within the limited when we have affinity with the unlimited. Because if we have no different shape completely, we cannot connect to that unlimited, and we connect to the body and not to the soul. If you look at the story of Purim, we are not going to see huge miracles. We're going to read a story, about a bad man named Haman that wants to kill the nation of Israel. Why? Because they were separated. That's what it says. Am meforad. They were separated. He saw that they're not doing anything that they need to do in this world, so they're separated. They're not in unity. But if you look at the real story, there is a bad man who wants to kill the nation of Israel. He's going to the king, and he's telling him, and the king said, yeah, sure, let's kill them. Right? And then Mordechai and Esther, Mordechai come to Esther and tell her, look, this is what Haman wants to do. You should go to the king and you should talk to him and to see what we can do about it. Esther is afraid a little bit, but she's overcoming the fear. She's asking everybody to fast for 3 days. So the whole nation of Israel in Persia is fasting together with Esther, and after 3 days she's going to the king. She's having a feast, and everybody is there coming, and they're drinking, and then she's telling him about that bad man called Haman, and the king, after the second party, she's telling him about it, and the king said, you know what? Yeah, let's kill him, and that's it. Where is the miracles here? When we're looking at it, is this crossing the Red Sea? The ocean doesn't split into two. The sun is not standing. There is no miracle that is obvious. There's no miracle that is obvious here in this story. And Megillat Esther, the scroll of Esther, it means hidden. In Esther, Esther means hidden. And Pisces, the energy of Pisces is a concealed energy also. Everything that comes from Creator has to be concealed, because the moment that is not concealed, we are giving up our free will. Because if we could see the miracle very, very clearly, we will have no choice but to believe in Creator. And since we are here to have free will, even the biggest miracle of crossing of the Red Sea, okay, that the sea spilled into 12, and the people of Israel went there, and 50 miracles were on this sea on that night. And we talked about it previously, that yes, it was the greatest miracle. But if you really read in the Torah, it says that a strong wind came, and it was crazy, and the wind was, and the sea was, goesh, and it was there was a storm like in the sea because of that very, very strong wind. And because of that strong wind, the ocean opened up. Okay, because in the greatest miracle, the light will always gonna put that doubt. It has to bring it with some sort of concealment, so we can still have free will. So even in the biggest miracles, we will always can say, oh, science is saying it. It's not the Kabbalah. It's already obvious, especially today when scientists prove so many things. It's harder to believe in the miracle. But in the story, or in the scroll of Esther, the story of Purim, everything is concealed. The name of the Creator is not there. The name of the Creator is hidden in names of other people. And everything is hidden because this is the world. And that's how doubt's coming all the time. That's the power of Amalek. And what we need to remove is to see the story of Esther. That's what would we connect. In the story of Esther, we have Haman that represent Amalek, doubt. That's why the name from the 72 name, Chaf Hei Taf, is to removing doubt. So every time when we read the scroll of Esther, we are meditating Chaf Hei Taf from the 72 names to remove that doubt. Because everyone can look at the scroll of Esther and read the story and says, where is the miracle? Okay, there was a decree, and he loved Esther, and because he loved Esther so much, and Esther was so beautiful, so he decided that he's gonna cancel the decree, because the king, I don't know how smart he was, right? So everything is concealed. It's a great, great miracle that because of that miracle, the people of Israel can actually go back to Israel and build second temple. But it's concealed. If we can have doubts in crossing of the Red Sea. So we definitely can have doubts about the story of Esther and the story of Purim, because it looks like it's just a regular story. And maybe they got lucky. But in every moment, there was an intervention of Creator, and people of Israel were supposed, to be saved at that time. With the power of unity, because when Esther wanted to go to the king, she asked everyone, the whole nation, to fast together with her. And they were all in one heart and one soul, created that miracle. Esther was the vehicle, was the channel to go to the king. But it was the power of the entire nation that created that miracle. It's a hidden miracle. And in life, we are constantly have miracles that we do not see. And the only doubt that we can have is that the Creator is not in each and every single things in our life. And this is a doubt that we would like to remove. When the Creator is asking to bring to the tabernacle all these great, material, if it's gold and silver and the greatest thing, why He will do it through money? He doesn't need it to be so expensive. Because money is the hardest thing to let go. If a person go to work and work very hard during the month, and then he says, oh my God, but I need to give donations now, or I need to contribute money, it's the hardest, because we feel that we worked to it and we deserve it and we earned it, and we don't have enough anyway to live the way we want to live. And the doubt that if we are going to give, we are actually going to take. That's the doubt that we need to receive, to let go of the material world through giving money, because money is the hardest for us to let go. And there is a story of in Spain, that the Sara Otsar, the Minister of Treasure, was a Jew, and he had a lot of money. And people got jealous of him, and they started to go to the king and tell the king bad things about him. And then the king called that guy, and he asked him, tell me, how much do you worth? What's your worth? What's your value? He meant in money right now. What is your personal value right now? So the guy was taking his, notes, and the king see all those numbers that he has, and he says, I have, let's say $100,000. So the king look at him and says, what $100,000? And the king is really getting upset, because he know that only his house worth maybe $1 million. So what does it mean that you only have $100,000? The king got upset, threw him to jail. Says, that man, I can really not trust. Whatever people tell me about him, it's not correct. Then the king sitting and he think about it, says, it cannot be that he told me, but he doesn't think that I'm that stupid. I mean, he knows that I know that only his house is more money. So why would he tell me something like that? He came down and he was thinking about it, and he asked to bring the guy back from prison. And he's asking the guy, are you really lying to my face? I mean, we both know that only your house worth more than that. And the guy told him, if you would ask me, what kind of properties I use, then I would tell you I have $2 million. But you ask me, what is my values? What values do I personally have? And this is what I have, because he's opened that book again, and he showed him, this is all the charity that I gave. And that charity that I gave, this is what I have. And nobody in the world will take it from me. This is my value. My worth is this money that I gave to donation. Because everything else can be taken away from me. And you see yourself, you took everything. In 1 minute, I lost everything. I had everything, and then nothing, because you threw me to jail. But that 100,000 that I gave to donation, you cannot take it away from me. Nobody will ever be able to take it away from me. Anyway, it was in the time of the Inquisition, and the story is moving forward, and the wife. That was the main story. So he brought him back to his power and to his position, and that's the beautiful power that we can get from it. That in order for us to really let go of the material world, we need to give something that is the hardest for us to give, and we're not doing a favor to anyone. We're doing it because we want to live with the light. In the month of Pisces, it's easy to share. It's easy to have affinity with the light. It's easier. It's never easy. It's never easy to give money. Never.